cheering for Billy Joe Travis with his fans indeed, and so does gorgeous Gary Young for that matter.
Without a doubt, but both men extremely capable inside that squared circle, Craig.
As far as size is concerned, give a little bit of an advantage to gorgeous Gary Young, but I've said many times before in my wrestling commentary, Billy Joe Travis may have the best right hand in wrestling. If that one hits you, you can go down very quickly.
That's right. Well, now Billy Joe backing Gary Young into the corner, and we'll see. Well, there's a clean break, Craig. I don't know. Is this what we're going to expect from Billy Joe this match?
Well, it's good to see Billy Joe back in good character, I guess you could say. Side headlock by gorgeous Gary Young. Billy Joe shoulder block takes Travis down. Step over by Young. And hip toss.
Nice maneuver there by Gary Young. Both men displaying some great wrestling skill early on.
Billy Joe Travis looks like he may not be in the shape he really wants to be, and he's been out of the Global Wrestling Federation for a little while. As a matter of fact, he's been wrestling in some various independent groups around the country, and now
that was a nice sportsmanlike move right there, Craig. You know, Billy Joe extending his hand and Gary accepting it.
Sportsmanship on both parts. Now Travis moves in with a side headlock, clamping it in, putting pressure on the temples. Young able to move Travis away, but Travis with momentum, and the momentum stays in the court of Billy Joe.
And some nice back and forth wrestling here, Craig. You see Billy Joe returning the favor to gorgeous Gary Young. Let's see if he'll extend the hand to Billy Joe. Now, Billy Joe extends it. Nice showmanship. Nice sportsmanship there.
You know, Bruce, it's very rare that you see two competitors go in there going hold for hold. It's nice for a change every now and then.
Without a doubt. That was a nice move there by Gary Young. Taking that side headlock into a head scissor.
You don't usually see a head scissors in a figure four. Well, Billy Joe Travis has Gary Young in quite a predicament and decides that he's not going to take advantage of his friend. These two gentlemen have been friends on both sides of the track, to coin a phrase.
There you go, but they have also been enemies on both sides of the track, if you will.
Very true. Back to the corner they go. Billy Joe Travis, clean break asked for by John Keaton. And it's a clean break.
Well, both men are still a little bit cautious. You see Gary Young hasn't quite let his guard down, and Billy Joe Travis isn't backing up. Well, there he goes.
Well, back to the middle of the ring, they'll move it. Single leg takedown, and now Gary Young has an opportunity. Billy Joe Travis wide open, and he won't take advantage of it either.
Oh, nice little shove there by Billy Joe, returned there by Gary Young.
Well, neither wrestler wants to lose any respect from the other. You know, you can be friends and wrestle a scientific match, but if you feel that the other guy may be giving you a little bit too much, then you start to worry about what he might be thinking, what he might try on you.
Without a doubt. Forearm by Billy Joe, and, well, I think that was okay.
Well, it's a legal move. It's a little bit of a roughhouse move, but it's a legal move nonetheless. And a forearm return by Gary Young.
Fair is fair.
Another forearm to the side of the head.
Well, tempers are flaring right now, Craig, and maybe we might see the other side of each man's temper right now. And the fans here in the Global Dome, I think they want to see him go at it.
Close-up look at Billy Joe Travis, who always takes time out to say hi to the fans. For that matter, so does gorgeous Gary Young. A lot of things in common with these two wrestlers. Collar and elbow tie-up into the arm lock. And now going to work on the shoulder, Billy Joe Travis.
Well, Billy Joe going to work right now on that arm of Gary Young. And he's really putting the pressure on.
Now, Bruce, you know a lot about holds and counter holds. This puts both pressure on the shoulder and the elbow.
Yes, it does. And right now, you see Billy Joe reversing it into a top wrist lock. Japanese wrist lock.
That I didn't know. I didn't realize it had an ethnic background.
Without a doubt. Billy Joe right now bringing Gary Young down, and nice bridge by Gary Young.
Gary Young using some of that power in his lower back, able to get up to a vertical base, and now he may try to power down Billy Joe Travis. Travis backs up to the corner to get out of the predicament. Smart wrestling move. John Keaton calls for a break, and break they do.
But you notice, Craig, Gary Young that time, he backed off a lot quicker than Billy Joe Travis did the previous time. So I think Gary Young here is looking for a little bit of a fair shake.
A side headlock being implemented here. Billy Joe Travis trying to wear down his opponent.
Well, it's going to take an awful lot to wear down gorgeous Gary Young.
You really have to wonder about the wrestling shape of Billy Joe Travis. As I mentioned, he hasn't been in the Global Wrestling Federation for a while. And Gary Young has been wrestling a full schedule in the GWF. Leapfrog by Billy Joe Travis, and hits him with that forearm. Catching Young off guard. Young answers with a forearm of his own.
Well, both men trading forearms. Oh, there's that right hand you were talking about, Craig.
Well, I have called it many times the best right hand in wrestling, and it takes gorgeous Gary Young down to the mat. Irish whip, and a roll-up. Count of one, count of two, count of three.
Nice move.
Gorgeous Gary Young.
And a very well wrestled match. Gorgeous Gary Young picking up the 1, 2, 3, but Billy Joe Travis walking away without a handshake.